Good morning, everybody. It's Scott out in Lakewood. This is the first portion of our cribbing episode. So I'm going to give you a couple of things that we do here. So this, I had the surveyor come out, and this is pinning it in the hole. And that represents the corner of the wall here. And so it's nice to have that done so that the cribbers get it just perfect. Inside of the footing here, we've got the steel, the rebar that has to go in, and you can see it's raised off the ground, so it actually is in the middle of the concrete footing, which is 8 inches deep. The reason you have it in the middle is concrete has a tremendous amount of compressive strength, but not much tensile strength, in fact, very little. And tensile strength is how it would just fold if there was nothing holding it up. So the steel inside of there is what prevents it from folding if there was actually a void. So these are 20 inches wide, and inside over on this side, well, I'll show you this first. So they put these all around, and what this is when they come to pour the footing, they leave these on the ground, and the guys that pour it will just put a little piece of concrete here, and they put that inside of it, and that allows them to put a brace to hold the wall plumb. Here is where all of our actual teleposts sit. So inside of the basement, wherever we've got beams, we have teleposts, and we have to have a bigger footing for that. So we have one here, we've got a big one here, and then we've got one up front. Okay, over here, I'll show you. This is a weeping tile. So around the exterior of the actual footing, we have weeping tiles that take any excess water and they run it into the weeping tile. It comes into the basement, runs around the basement and out to the actual storm sewer. So we don't need to have like sump pumps inside of these basements because we have that anyways. So we don't need, sorry, let me explain that better. That was poor. We don't have sump pumps. Sump pumps is where you run your weeping tile into, and then you have a pump that pumps the excess water out of your house. We don't need a sump pump because we have a storm sewer pump or storm sewer line. Forgive me, it's a little chilly today. So anyways, over here is all of our servicing. So this is the water line that you saw in the dig. And this is the sewer line. And our storm sewer is in this gravel someplace. And it looks like they didn't leave me any gravel for our guys to use, which when they're bedding our actual plumbing inside here, the groundworks, we usually use that. So we'll have to get some for them. These are the steps. So what we do is, obviously, we can't have the garage height is different than the house height because we only need 4 inches of frost coverage, but this is a 9-foot basement, so obviously it's going to be lower. So we have to step down, we come 4 feet, we go down 2 feet, we come 4 feet, we go down 2 feet again. So this is what holds that all up, and then the walls sit on top of that. Inside of the garage over here, you can see all these pieces of steel. So again, what the guys do when they're pumping the footing, they put a blob of concrete around these, and then we have what's called a sonotube, which there's some up there that we fill with concrete, and that holds up, or it's like a support underneath your garage floor. So anyways, that's the first part of the cribbing. Good morning, everybody. It's Scott. We're out in Lakewood in Strathmore. and another exciting day. The cribbers are here. So this is day 3, I think, because we had a little issue with the actual pump truck. Yeah, we didn't have one that could work on road bands, so we had to wait one day. So they first come out and get the footings in, and I showed you that prior to concrete. So we got that all poured. Now they're setting up the forms. So this basement's a 9-foot basement. So these forms are 9'4", and they put what's called a ladder in. And I've talked about that before in previous videos. So the ladder's the piece that sits on top, and it's wood. And that's what we can nail our floor joists into and everything. That holds the house down on top of the forms. So you can see here, we'll go down in the hole and I'll show you how they snap their lines and everything. Again, this is just keeping everything straight. So inside of these forms, there's different things that we have to do, or that we do anyways. Like we put up what's called an electrical mast. And the idea of that is it's a treated piece of wood, stands up, that we can put our electrical meter on. And that just aids in the process so that we can not only put our wire in, but we can actually get it all ready. Because I cannot put any, sorry, how am I going to explain this? I can't put a meter on the house until it's backfilled. So even though we have our mast and everything, the electric company won't put the meter in, so we won't energize anything. So that's important. In this instance, our meter's going to be on the other side of the house from where our actual mechanical room is. So we'll run our wire through the footing and over and up into the mechanical room. So anyways, why don't we go down in the hole and I'll show you some other stuff. Come on. Okay, so here we are down in the hole. You'll notice they got spray paint on here. This is telling them where the windows are and how big they are. And the reason they do that is it's just a helpful reminder for everybody. On top of the footing, you can see there's a black line. That's chalk line. And that's where they put the forms. So they've got an inside line and an outside line. Also, I talked about up there, our electrical mast. So in the wall here, we'll have our electrical mast. The electrical wires are coming from over here. They'll come down here. They'll travel up to the mast, through the meter, down, and then under the footing over to our mechanical room over there. So you'll see all these. This I've talked about in the past as well. That's rebar. We just call it steel. But those go into the wall. And again, the idea behind that is it provides the tensile strength in concrete. So for years, they never put any steel in houses, and the concrete's changed a bit. But anyways, we do that a lot. We have around our window openings, we have additional steel, which I pointed out in the past as well. But they have cross pieces because you have a hole where the window goes. So we've got uprights in there. Anyways, inside here you can see this is a newer, it's not a newer form system, but it's newer from what they used to use. And these are just latches. And inside here, these are ties, and this ties the inside and the outside together, because there's a form on the inside of the house and a form on the outside. So these steel ties run through the concrete. So anyways, you can see it's pretty high, and we're getting a nice spring snowstorm. It's actually winter here in Calgary still. I want to call it spring. That's just being hopeful. So anyways, they should be all done here. Pouring on Tuesday. Today's Friday, and they just started this morning, it's a 4-man crew. So on Tuesday, we'll be back and we'll actually get to see the pump trucks here. Rolling Mix, as you know, is our concrete supplier. So they'll be here and filling the forms up. Looking forward to that. All right, it's Scott here out in Lakewood, and we're just pouring the foundation wall. So this is the final phase for the cribbers, other than stripping the forms after. So we have the pump here, it's rolling mix again as usual, and you can see the guys on the wall there. And as we said in the past, we've got the hopper down there, they basically drain the concrete into that. The pump takes it up. It's got to go a long ways. There's a couple things that I think are important for you to know, that when they put those legs out for the pump, it's really important that they've got something solid, because it's a lot of weight on that long boom. So the guys in the front here, I want to show you something where I know where the garage buck is on the outside here. So let's walk over there and I'll show you that. They have some double-headed nails here, and that's holding the ladder up, and then they go down and they go across. So the double-headed nails down below is actually the height of the garage door buck. So what it tells me is this is a pretty flat driveway, which I really like. We only have about 3 steps up into the house itself, so I also like that. And again, they splashed a bunch of concrete on my surfaces, but we'll get that dealt with. So anyways, these cages, tomorrow, they'll be stripping all these forms off. They put them in these cages, and then a truck comes and lifts them out of the hole, and they're out of here. I've got Chester starting, as you can see. This is all of our floor lumber. So he's actually going to be starting here, not tomorrow, but the next day. And the floor will be put on, and then we start building the house. This has to sit for at least a week before I backfill it. So we have to do our tar on there, and then we start backfilling. So there they are, putting it full of concrete.